Have you ever thought that the real secret to a lighter and fuller life might be something you never expected? It may feel uncomfortable to face it, but the truth is that clinging to the past, to hurt and expectations, might be holding you back more than you realize. Society tells us to value our stories and experiences, but what if I told you that sometimes, this is what prevents you from moving forward? Many carry the marks of failed relationships, past mistakes, and frustrated expectations, and this emotional burden turns into a weight that drains peace. But what if, instead of holding on, you started to let it all go? It may sound counterintuitive, but detachment doesn't mean denying your history, it means learning to put it in the right place, the past. That's where the magic begins. When you let go, transformation flows, bringing unexpected lightness and genuine freedom. In this video, you'll discover how the act of letting go can transform your life, your worldview, and even your relationships. Are you ready to understand how detachment can be the path to everything you seek? Then come along, this journey promises to be enlightening. Can you imagine how your life would be if you stopped carrying the weight of your personal history? Each of us holds a set of experiences, memories, and even wounds as if they were inseparable baggage. Yet, clinging to this past defines you by your scars and robs you of the chance to create something new. Letting go of your personal history doesn't mean erasing it but recognizing that it doesn't have to dictate who you are today. Think about it, without past expectations, you don't have to prove anything to anyone, not even yourself. This attachment to the past is like a burden we insist on carrying. When something goes wrong, how often do we look back and relive those painful moments? Many times, we only reinforce our own suffering. Imagine your history as a backpack full of rocks. The act of detachment is the same as emptying it, rock by rock. By doing so, you're not denying your experiences but placing them in the right place, allowing them to stay where they belong, in the past. Liberating, right? Practicing detachment isn't simple, but it's possible and transformative. How about doing an exercise? Choose a past event that still affects you and imagine removing it from your mental backpack. Ask yourself, why am I still holding on to this? Then, let it go, accepting that this experience played its part but no longer needs to stay with you. This way, you open up space for a new chapter, where you decide the weight you carry. This changes everything because, by letting go, you free yourself. Living in the present moment is one of the greatest challenges but also one of the most powerful skills you can develop. When we are anchored in the now, there is no room for the past's anguish or future's anxieties. Each second becomes a new opportunity to create something meaningful, to do things differently. Imagine how your life would be if, instead of dwelling on what has passed, you were entirely connected to what is happening here and now. This is the secret to finding true peace. The present is often underestimated, but it's where everything happens. How many times have we let important moments slip by because we were distracted by memories or worries? For example, how many conversations have gone by without truly listening to what the other person was saying? Being in the now means being awake, noticing the details, and making the most of every interaction. To experience this presence, try setting aside a few minutes each day to take a deep breath and observe your surroundings, feeling every sensation. Learning to dive into the present moment may seem simple, but it requires practice and intention. A helpful technique is to focus on your breathing, each inhalation and exhalation, as this anchors you to the now. Start small, dedicating a few minutes daily to this practice. This exercise in presence helps calm the mind and reduce attachment to past stories. Gradually, you'll notice how this practice opens space for a new perspective on life, where the present becomes your greatest strength. Solving problems with the same mindset that created them is like trying to leave a maze by following the same path that got you in. Changing the way you view situations is essential to finding real solutions. Often, we are so tied to our old thoughts that we don't realize it's our own mentality limiting progress. You know that feeling of being stuck? This happens because we are trapped in a thought cycle that prevents transformation. To change this, you must rewrite your agreement with reality, meaning change how you view obstacles and opportunities. For example, if you always see a problem at work as a burden, try changing this view and treating the situation as a chance to learn something new or push yourself. This change may seem small, but it alters the entire dynamic, making the problem less intimidating. The mind is powerful, and by transforming it, you transform your experiences. The practice of questioning your thoughts is a powerful tool for achieving this change. Ask yourself, what could I think differently about this situation, or does this thought strengthen or weaken me? Over time, this habit becomes natural, and you'll notice that many problems are not as big as they seemed, but rather the product of a limited view. And by expanding this view, you find new ways to deal with what once seemed impossible. A successful relationship doesn't just happen, it needs nurturing, and this starts with what you choose to see in the other person. Focusing on qualities rather than flaws is a crucial step for a relationship to thrive. How often do relationships deteriorate because we only see what's missing in the other person, instead of valuing who they already are? It's like tending to a garden. If you only look at the weeds, you forget to water the flowers. This focus on the positive transforms the relationship and brings a completely different energy to daily interactions. If you have children, try noticing and praising their small achievements, or in the case of your partner, acknowledge the acts of care and support they show. Yes, sometimes it requires extra effort, but the effect is powerful. This type of attitude strengthens the bond and creates an atmosphere of mutual trust. By cultivating this habit, you'll find that relationships become lighter, and conflicts lose their strength. It's a practice worth trying, and for those still skeptical, start with a simple gesture. Observe what your partner or loved one does well for you every day, even if it's small. This simple act of recognizing what is good is the starting point for transforming any relationship and achieving a more authentic connection.
Want to transform your life from the inside out? Check out our ebook with practical tools for real change. Go to the pinned comment, click the link, and see how to start your transformation today.
Visualizing yourself as the person you want to be is one of the most effective ways to achieve your goals. When you see yourself already accomplished, your brain starts acting as if it were real, driving actions that bring you closer to that future. It's like an actor living the role before even stepping onto the stage. Imagine yourself having already achieved what you want. This practice creates a kind of magnetic field that attracts favorable situations and people. This technique can be applied in various areas of life. For example, if your goal is to be more confident, visualize yourself in situations where you act decisively, where your decisions are respected. You start experiencing this confidence, and little by little, it becomes real. The practice of being before having isn't an illusion, it's a way of preparing the mind and body to live what you desire, making the achievement process more natural and less exhausting. Consistency is the key to making this practice a reality in your life. Commit to daily visualizations of yourself in the situation you want to achieve. Create a clear and detailed mental picture, like a snapshot of the future. This image becomes the starting point for every conscious action. Remember, if you see yourself there, you're already halfway there. And by adopting this stance, you're setting the ground for the next step in transformation. Recognizing your divine essence may seem distant, but it's closer than you think. There is a force within each of us, an innate potential that, when valued, allows us to see life in a completely new way. It's that spark that motivates you and connects you to something greater, as if you had a unique purpose that only you can fulfill. Realizing this connection is like discovering a hidden talent. It has always been there, waiting to be used. Each person has their own way of connecting to this essence. It may be through quiet moments, meditation, or even simple activities like walking in nature. The important thing is to take the time to listen to this inner voice, to understand what it's saying. There's no need to look outside for what you already have within. When you give space to this divinity, a feeling of fulfillment naturally emerges, and life becomes more meaningful. By valuing this inner connection, you begin to see challenges differently, with more serenity and less attachment to control. It's not about becoming someone else but recognizing and celebrating the greatness that already exists within you. This inner confidence brings lasting peace because you understand that, no matter what happens on the outside, the essential remains intact. And this is just the beginning of a journey of self-discovery. Thoughts have a direct impact on our energy and well-being. When we maintain thoughts that weaken us, like shame and fear, we are undermining our own strength. These ideas have a physical weight, even affecting the body's health. It's like carrying an invisible backpack full of heavy stones, while life could be lighter and more fluid. Replacing these thoughts with more empowering ones is an essential act of self-care. Instead of letting negative ideas dominate your mind, try replacing each one with a positive alternative. Felt ashamed of something? Remember a moment when you acted confidently. Felt afraid? Focus on the courage you've shown before. This process of exchange is like cleaning the mind, removing the dead weight that weakens your energy. The daily practice of replacing the negative with the positive is simple but has a powerful and cumulative effect. Gradually, you'll notice how lighter and more neutral thoughts strengthen your emotions and body. It all starts with small daily choices, like noticing what enters your mind and asking if this thought really strengthens you. This mental self-control changes the entire way you handle life because now you're acting from a solid foundation. And the next step will be to transform your perception and relationships even further. Expectations directly shape the reality around us, even if we don't always realize it. What we expect of ourselves, of people, and of situations influences our behavior and even what we attract into our lives. It's like wearing a lens that only allows you to see what matches these expectations. If you expect things to go wrong, they almost always do, because your focus and actions are geared toward that outcome. To adjust your expectations in a way that favors your growth, try questioning them. Do you expect people to act ideally or life to only offer ease? Adjusting your expectations means accepting that not everything will go your way, but that there are still great opportunities in every situation. When you change what you expect, you begin to see that life offers more chances than it seemed, and you can be the source of many achievements. The practice of positive expectations also helps you cultivate a more open and flexible attitude. This doesn't mean expecting everything to be perfect, but that, regardless of what comes, you'll be prepared to handle it constructively. Changing expectations is an exercise in freedom, where what happens around you transforms based on how you choose to see it. And this attitude opens doors to a transformation that goes beyond circumstances. Imagine treating yourself as if you were already exactly who you want to become. This is one of the most potent secrets to success. Behave, think, and act like your idealized version of yourself. When you treat yourself as capable and worthy, every decision you make is guided by this vision. It's like you're giving the world a message that you're ready for the opportunities and achievements you desire. A practical example is thinking about daily actions. If your goal is to be a more disciplined person, start the day making choices that the disciplined person would make. Be it at work, with diet, or relationships, you start to live that version. This process creates a new identity that makes transformation feel natural, without the need for abrupt changes. You simply become that person you envisioned, one step at a time. Treating yourself as already being who you want to be helps solidify this new identity. Create habits that represent this new reality, like waking up early, planning the day, or cultivating moments of reflection. Each day, you'll see yourself closer to who you truly want to become, because your actions reinforce the image of who you already are in potential. This approach makes the transformation journey continuous, obstacle-free, and much more rewarding. Cultivating empowering thoughts is a way to protect your mind and energy. Each thought carries a vibration, positive ones strengthen you, while negative ones drain your potential. When you choose thoughts of peace, courage, and acceptance, you're strengthening not only your mind but also your body and spirit. It's like choosing to nourish your energy source, creating a solid base to handle any challenge. To start, observe your emotional state when thoughts of anxiety, guilt, or regret arise. Instead of dwelling on these thoughts, try redirecting them. Ask yourself, does this thought strengthen me? If the answer is no, choose to replace it with something more neutral or positive, like gratitude or a memory of something you overcame. This practice puts you in control of your mind, allowing you to choose what you truly want to hold on to. Over time, this control of thoughts becomes a habit and begins to reflect in all areas of your life. It's like choosing the fuel that powers your daily life. By avoiding weakening thoughts and cultivating strengthening ones, you feel more energized and prepared to face situations with calm and wisdom. And as this practice becomes constant, it opens doors to a level of peace and confidence you may have never experienced before. Now that you understand the power of letting go and the impact it has on your life, the question is, what's stopping you from starting? Are you still holding on to a thought, a story, or a hurt that should have been left behind? Learning to let go is like opening a door to a new version of yourself, lighter, freer, and more connected to what truly matters. So, why not try these teachings? What can you do today to apply what we've discussed here? Start small, choose one thought that no longer serves you and let it go. With each new step, you'll be closer to a fuller, more satisfying life. This is the moment to act and turn theory into practice. If this content resonated with you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications to keep learning about topics that truly make a difference. That way, you won't miss any tips and help us reach more people who, like you, seek to grow. So, shall we go on this journey together?
Want to transform your life from the inside out? Check out our ebook with practical tools for real change. Go to the pinned comment, click the link, and see how to start your transformation today.